Imagine a world where the seasons themselves have turned against humanity, bringing with them not just weather, but catastrophic events that rewrite the map of civilization. You are part of a hardened community that has survived 4 previous apocalyptic shifts, only to find that the end of seasons isn't a cycle, it's a countdown to total extinction. But when you discover that the final season brings with it a threat that defies all previous survival logic, you realize that hope isn't just a feeling, it's a tactical resource that must be defended with blood and iron. Welcome to The Hope of the Fallen, the 5th gritty, relentless, and deeply suspenseful installment in Mike Kraus and Aiden Cross's End of Season series. If you love disaster thriller tropes, realistic survivalism, and stories that explore the sheer, unadulterated terror of facing a planet that wants you dead through grit, ingenuity, and superior tactics, this audiobook will completely consume you. It is a masterclass in post-apocalyptic fiction, blending the visceral crunch of tactical combat with the profound weight of moral decay. The narrative kicks off with our protagonist facing the immediate onset of the final seasonal catastrophe, thrusting them into a race against time to secure their sanctuary before the environment itself becomes the enemy. The atmosphere is thick with the smell of ozone and rot, the static of dying radios, and the creeping dread of knowing that every alliance is temporary and every safe haven is an illusion. Kraus and Cross excel at capturing the psychological toll of long-term survival, making every scavenging run, every tense negotiation, and every narrow escape feel like a high-stakes gamble where the price of failure is not just death, but the loss of everything that makes life worth living. At the core of the book's massive appeal is its spectacular reluctant leader trope and the brilliant asymmetric warfare dynamic. This isn't just about shooting raiders, it's about understanding the psychology of desperation, managing dwindling resources, and using human ingenuity to outsmart enemies who have superior numbers and zero regard for collateral damage. Watching the protagonist reverse engineer enemy tactics, forge uneasy truces with other survivor groups, and completely shock arrogant commanders with their stubborn refusal to break is incredibly satisfying. The audiobook narration brings the visceral impact of the combat to life, making the crack of rifle fire, the shudder of impact, and the frantic whispers in the dark feel incredibly real and deeply immersive. But beyond the spectacular action and the survival mechanics, the soul of End of Seasons lies in its characters and the heavy burden of leadership. The protagonist isn't an invincible hero, they are a deeply human individual struggling with the moral weight of making impossible choices to protect those they care about. The emotional anchor of the story is their fierce, complicated bond with the small group of survivors they reluctantly allow into their orbit, a found family bound by shared trauma and the knowledge that they are the last line of defense against total darkness. The audiobook format elevates these intimate moments, making the quiet conversations by a flickering candle feel just as impactful as the explosive, chaotic firefights on the perimeter. As the plot accelerates towards its climax, the pacing becomes utterly breathless. A major raider gang targets the community sanctuary, forcing them into a desperate, high-stakes last stand. The finale is a breathtaking display of tactical brilliance, overwhelming improvisation, and raw, unbridled courage. The protagonist must use every hidden trick, every overloaded trap, and every ounce of their will to hold the line against an unstoppable tide. The payoff is spectacular, delivering a massive, hard-earned victory that proves humanity's greatest weapon isn't its firepower, it's its refusal to surrender its soul. The Hope of the Fallen is a triumph of the post-apocalyptic thriller genre. It is smart, gritty, and unapologetically intense. Mike Kraus and Aiden Cross have crafted a sequel that perfectly captures the thrill of the ultimate underdog holding the line. Plug in your headphones, check your perimeter, and join the fight. The world is broken, but their defiance is eternal.